Hey, I'm cartoonist Jinlun Yang, and today I want to show you where I work. Now, there's a problem with this, and that is that back before the pandemic, I used to use a workspace that was outside of my home. It was kind of like WeWork. I was the only cartoonist there. Everybody else around me was in the tech industry, but it was still pretty awesome. After the quarantine, I've had to work at home. My wife and I, we have 4 kids, so I don't really have my own workspace at home. I've been kind of a nomad cartoonist. I've been having to go from one spot to the other with my stuff. Sometimes I'll work in one of my kids' bedrooms. Other times I'll work at our dining table. Other times I'll work at a table in our backyard. Right now I'm in my son's room using his desk. His online classes are all over for the day, so I get to set up and do some work here. So let me show you what I'm working with. These days, I definitely do more writing than drawing. This right here is a script that I am working on. It's for the Shang-Chi series from Marvel Comics. You can see sometimes in my scripts I'll embed pictures, and that is because it is often easier to describe something visual to my artist using a picture than with words. The last book I drew myself was Dragon Hoops. This was put out by First Second Books in March of 2020. And that I did on Photoshop. Let me bring up a page of that for you. So I have a Wacom tablet that I can attach to this PC, or I can attach to my Mac desktop. And I drew this on that. I also use a piece of software called Clip Studio for some of the pages. For most of them, most of the pages in Dragon Hoops I drew on Photoshop. I also have an iPad. Lots of technology here. And the last page I drew was actually on this iPad. I'm going to put in my secret code without showing you. This is the last page of comics I drew. This was for an issue of Legion of Superheroes from DC Comics. And I drew this using this Apple Pencil with a piece of software on the iPad called Procreate. A friend of mine named Tin Pham recommended it to me. He's also a cartoonist. So you can see on this, I have my sketches on one layer. These are super quick thumbnail sketches where I actually even have to write what character I'm drawing in each panel because the sketches are so loose I can't tell. And then I'll do tighter sketches here, right? And then the final inked version here. I don't remember what issue of Legion of Superheroes this was published in, but it was written by Brian Michael Bendis, one of the best superhero writers working today. Why do I like comics so much? I have to tell you, I bought my first comic in the 5th grade, and I think my love for comics, because I started relatively young, when I was 10 or 11 years old, it is pre-logical. Like, I loved comics before I really even thought about why I loved comics so much. There's just something about seeing drawings and words on a page that really captured my imagination. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's the fact that, it's just ink on paper. It's just ink on paper, right? It's something that anybody with some paper and some pens can do. But in the right hands, that ink on paper can create an actual world that feels real, and I think there's something really fascinating about that. I think that's why I love comics so much. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed getting a glimpse of my Nomad workspace, and I also hope you enjoy the rest of CXC. Bye-bye.